Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to AccountantsWorld's webinar presentation regarding AccountantsWorld's Payroll Relief and SwipeClock. We will be beginning the presentation in just under 5 minutes here. If you're looking to access the handout will be in the Handouts tab on your GoToWebinar control panel. Once again, we will be starting the webinar in just about 5 minutes here, so hang tight and we will get started shortly. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to AccountantsWorld's webinar presentation. Today, AccountantsWorld Payroll Relief and SwipeClock, we will be discussing new HR services opportunities for you. I want to thank you all for joining us today. My name is Thomas Provine. I am a marketing coordinator here at AccountantsWorld. Before we get started with all of the presentation materials, just a few tips on GoToWebinar. You can see the GoToWebinar dashboard that you are currently seeing as an attendee. You can access the attendee control panel using that orange arrow. You can expand it, you can hide it. For your audio options, you can expand the audio section to choose whether telephone or computer speakers, and then just make sure you click the phone icon. And if you have any questions, and I'm sure you will have some questions on this new and exciting integration, you can expand the question section, type your question and click send. Also, if you have any technical questions, myself and Roger will be in the background to handle all of those questions here today. So we're going to jump right in here. We're going to start off with our first poll question, and I will launch that right now for everybody. So our first poll question is, if everybody can see, how many of your clients and prospects are seeking HR services? 50% or more, 25 to 50%, 10 to 25%, or less than 10%. So we would really love for everybody to answer this, as it will give us a great idea of how the integration will benefit you going forward. So I see about 75% of people have voted. We're going to just keep it open here for another 10 to 15 seconds. Once again, those answers are 50% or more, 25 to 50%, 10 to 25%, or less than 10%. All right. Keep it open for just another 5 seconds here. Going once, going twice. All right. And we will close those results. And I'm just going to share those results as well. So it looks to be that 6% say 50% or more, 16% said 25 to 50% are seeking HR solutions, 10 to 25% are seeking HR solutions. That's 7% of the attendees, and 40% say less than 10%. That's all right. We're looking to give our best results here. So without further ado, I want to turn the presentation over to Christopher Swan, who will be telling us more about SwipeClock and this integration. Christopher, let me just give you presenter controls and welcome you. How are you?
I am great, Tom. Thank you very much. And awesome poll. Love seeing these results here. Thank you for putting that out there.
Yes, absolutely. Let me know when you're ready to share your screen, and I will close up this poll results here.
I am good.
All right, here we go. We're going to hide those poll results.
All righty. Awesome. So everyone should now be seeing my screen. And again, thank you, Tom. I really appreciate the opportunity here as we move forward with this exciting news that we're about to announce here today. And again, I want to thank just AccountantsWorld overall for giving me a little bit of time, the opportunity to speak with you, and the opportunity to share what we're working on together between our two companies. I believe all of you are going to be extremely excited about the news that we're going to reveal here today. But first, before we get there, I'm certain that there are many on this webinar that have never had the opportunity to have a conversation with SwipeClock, understand who we are. So I wanted to share a little bit about myself and SwipeClock so that we can provide you a little bit of insight as we go through today's webinar. So to begin with, my name is Christopher Swan. I am the Director of Channel Development over here at SwipeClock. And I've actually been in the payroll space since 1994, roughly. I hate to tell you my age there, but I've been in the payroll space for quite some time in some format or another. I actually joined SwipeClock about 4.5 years ago, but I was actually a utilizer of SwipeClock services back when I was selling payroll, time and attendance, employee benefits, those types of things. So I've known this actual platform for quite some time. Being the Director of Channel Development, my team and our whole department is there with the sole objective of ensuring that all of our channel partners are successful in whatever they're trying to achieve here with SwipeClock, so that we can help them along those roads. And to describe SwipeClock, as you can kind of see on the screen here, we are basically a software company. We're a leading provider of cloud-based workforce management solutions. To us, that means we provide automated time and attendance, advanced scheduling, and workforce management capabilities, which includes our HR modules that we're going to be talking about today. Basically, the ability for you to now have an integrated onboarding system, applicant tracking system, and HR MS capabilities in there. We provide our services, we distribute our services through roughly 1,200, I think it's actually closer to 1,300 reselling partners out there. Most of these partners are out there are in the payroll service industry in one format or another, very much like yourselves. And so we're providing them our services, which means they're out there providing and reselling our services to roughly 35,000 businesses out there. We have 1.2, 1.3 employees in the system today. So the purpose of today's webinar is to basically announce the advanced integration efforts that are under works between AccountantsWorld, Payroll Relief, and SwipeClock. And once completed, all of you, all AccountantsWorld Payroll Relief licensees will have full access to SwipeClock's complete HRMS products and have it integrated directly between the two systems. Before I get there, before I go on to talk further about what that integration is going to look like, I wanted to first kind of review today's integration, because there is integration that's out there today. But what exists today is strictly for our timekeeping side of the system, which we call TimeWorks Plus. And today, that is just a one-way integration from TimeWorks Plus into Payroll Relief. You guys must have all the employee IDs, number codes that match. There needs to be double data entry, meaning you're going to enter the data into both Payroll Relief and TimeWorks Plus, so you're doing it twice. And all of the pay code, earnings codes, all of those translations must match exactly in order for that integration to work. So it's there, it's out there today, but we are working together to make that much, much better and include all of our products within that offering. So, as I said earlier, the new plan is to develop a full integration with all of our products that can grant you access not only to timekeeping, but the whole HRMS marketplace. And so the idea is this new integration will allow all of you, all of the AccountantsWorld Payroll Relief users, to now start offering HRMS features to all of their clients, including things like single sign-on, access directly from within the system, embeddable widgets that we provide, intelligent clock features, and all of the HR onboarding. So as you're looking at the screen, you'll see single sign-on access from Payroll Relief into SwipeClock, employee onboarding that has bidirectional or round tripping capabilities in there. So what that means is that if you go ahead and utilize the onboarding system, you can do that by starting either with our applicant tracking or onboarding module. It will go in to SwipeClock, over to Payroll Relief, and then back to SwipeClock so that you have all the data there automatically that you're looking for. Pushing time card data, and as I mentioned, embeddable widgets in there. Why are we doing this? Well, that's because we together, so AccountantsWorld and SwipeClock, wanted to come together to actually give you guys further tools that you can utilize out in this marketplace that is a huge opportunity out there for everybody. As you can see on the screen, it lists that there are 4.4 million companies within the United States that employ 2 to 100 employees. This is kind of going through that range that ties directly to that poll Tom started with out there. There are also 176,000 employers that have 50 to 500 employees. So this whole HRMS market opportunity space is massive out there. And as payroll service providers, you guys are poised, you're in prime position to go out there and either sell to a new marketplace or to actually provide these services to your current clients, making sure that no one else is trying to come after your clients by offering these additional HR services that are out there. Oh, by the way, the other thing, we have studies that actually show every time you provide an additional services out there for your clients, it's going to make them even more sticky. It increases retention exponentially every time you add another service, you provide another solution for them. We wanted to give that capability, and this is a huge market space for you to be able to do that. So let's kind of talk about what that is to us and what the products are that we provide. So the HRMS marketplace has become such an incredible opportunity out there that we have developed these 4 separate categories of products that are out there, right? We have what is called applicant tracking through a product called Applicant Stack. We then have the HR module, which is called Hub. That leads into the time tracking module called TimeWorks Plus, and then finally into the advanced scheduling product called Time Simplicity. When these are all utilized in a combination, that is what we call Workforce Hub. That is our HRMS system out there. And so as we take a look at this, then we like to kind of describe this as the employee's journey, or the journey that an administrator must take in order to get that new employee actually up and running smoothly so that all the data is there for them, right? So we start with applicant tracking. The very beginning stage of an employee is that employee getting hired. And before that employee is hired, companies need to actually recruit them and get their application process started so that they can then become hired. That moves into the onboarding stage, right? You now need to take all of that information you have of your new employees and get them into all of your systems that you're utilizing to administer them. That then turns into HR responsibilities and management tasks there, where you're providing them with all the policies, procedures, regulations that your company actually has out there and having all that document stored. You then have them hired and you need to get them tracking their time, right? They're hired now, they start their first day, and you need them to be tracking their time so that the information can be reported correctly in order for you to do payroll. And they've finished their actual their trial time with your company, and you want to get them now added to a regular schedule, start having shifts created for them so that everyone is aware when they're working and having insight into all of that information. For us, here's kind of some overviews of what the actual product looks like. So let's start kind of on that employee journey. This is the applicant tracking side of the system. And it has everything from the ability for you to post jobs out there to all the third-party providers, internal providers, your own websites, everything like that. You know, every day I hear advertisement for Indeed out there. They're dumping a bunch of money in advertising. That's because the labor market is so tight these days that getting the right new hired employee is critical, and applicant tracking systems such as Applicant Stack help your end users manage that whole process in an automated fashion and collaborate with all of their team members so that they can hire that perfect employee. Once that is done, that employee needs to go into the onboarding system. So here you can see this is the onboarding process. Now, again, if they've utilized the applicant tracking system, the first phase of onboarding is automatically done because all of that data automatically dumps over into the employee onboarding stage. But if it has not been done, if they're just coming on, let's say you hired somebody that came in off the street and you need to now onboard all of their data, well, you can do that too. That just starts with a phase where the administrator goes in and starts the process by entering information on who this new hired employee is. Basically, what they're doing in this phase is telling the system, here's my new employee. We want to give them credentials so that they can log into the system and finish their part and tell them what they need to complete in there, right? So we're gonna identify all of the forms that they need to go through and complete, including any custom forms or custom questions that you guys might need in there. Maybe you offer WOTC out there to your clients or need information on the Affordable Care Act. All of these types of forms are part of the onboarding process, and here you're defining what that employee needs to actually complete in their process. Once that is done, you can see the message here where it's saying, sit back and relax, Miley is now on the clock. Well, what that means is that you as the administrator have completed your portion. The employee just received an email and has been asked to go and complete all of those forms that you just identified for them. They go through that process, they enter all of that forms, and then once they're done, you will get another email as the administrator, as the supervisor, letting you know that they've completed their steps. As you can kind of see on the screen here, it identifies all of the forms that they've filled out. It keeps them in their document library, and then asks you to just go ahead and sign off on this, complete and add to payroll. Down at the bottom of the screen on kind of the left-hand side of the form, you can see where you'll just complete and add to payroll. And that's when that round-tripping portion of the integration takes place that I was talking about. Once you're done with that, you're gonna have them start on their tracking of time. And this is done in several different methods, right? All of time tracking and time and labor management begins by collecting an employee's punch data. Well, you can do that with one of our hardware clocks. You can see on the example on the screen here that there is a hardware clock in the background. This is one of what we call our intelligent clocks. This allows employees to clock in and out. It keeps track of where they are in their punch cycle. In the demo or the screenshot here, you can see that the inbox is grayed out or not available. That's because this employee is already clocked in, so their only options are to clock out, start a break, start a meal, or transfer to another department. Oh, by the way, yes, we do complete labor distribution tracking so that you can have all of that information for your clients trying to understand where they're spending their money. If a hardware clock is not needed, or maybe they have what I call a distributive workforce, we have a complete mobile app that allows them access into all of the system. Everything that's available through their employee self-service portal is also available in the mobile app. You can see examples of that here on the screen, right? Or maybe they don't need any type of hardware clock or actual mobile app. Maybe they all have access to a computer right at their desk, their workstation, and so you just want them to access directly through the employee self-service portal. You're seeing an example of that here on the screen. This is where employees can immediately come in, have that same intelligent clock, but in addition to that, they have access to all of the other HR features that are included in here. On the screen, we can see they have access to their pay stubs or their W-2s as those come directly over from the payroll system. They have access to an engagement portal where the supervisor, the administrator, the manager has the ability to ask questions of their employees, kind of keep track or solicit feedback from their employees and keep them engaged within how things are going as they're working within the company. There is the communication center that allows you as, again, that supervisor, that administrator, to message direct employees or message all employees out there and keep track of all of those messages so that you're letting everybody understand what's going on. Maybe it's something as simple as, hey, your benefits are due by the end of next week for this upcoming year. Please go in and make your selections. Whatever your message is that you're trying to do. Also underneath that, please notice that there is a document and leaked storage library. Those documents that we created from the onboarding process, they're all going to be stored in the employee's filing cabinet, and any custom links that you want out there can be stored there as well. The next part of this portal allows the employee to see their calendar, right? Their calendar provides three basic forms of important information. Number one, if they're utilizing scheduling, it lets them know what their shifts are that they're working. They can see those right on the screen. Number two, if they're utilizing or have time off request policies, well, if they've gone ahead and made a time off request policy through the system, that will show right here on the calendar. They can identify those days that their supervisor has approved their time off by looking at the calendar where the circles are colored in black. If they have made a request to their supervisor, but their supervisor still hasn't taken action, those days are indicated with the circles that are gray in there. So blue provides your shift information, black says here are the days that I have off, and gray are the days that I've requested off, but my supervisor still hasn't approved or rejected in there. The next step after that is actually the ability to allow them to request time off directly through the system. A couple of features on here that I think are really, really critical is they immediately get to see their PTO and sick leave buckets, right? No longer having to go to their manager and have their manager look up and see what those balances are. And at the top of the screen, there's a time off balance report that they can run. Maybe they want to see what their accrual balances are going to be in 6 months. Well, they can go and run that report and see what their accrual balance is going to be. But finally, the most important part is actually making that request for the time off. They get to come in here, enter the dates, enter the actual time per day, put in a reason in here, and submit that. As soon as they click that submit button, it is then transferred directly over or emailed directly over to their supervisor, their manager, their administrator, so that that individual can then take action, meaning approve or reject. If your clients end up needing advanced scheduling capabilities, our system, because it is all integrated together, provides some great actual insight and tools for your clients to be able to utilize. So first of all, looking at the actual calendar or creation of shifts right here, it's very simple for companies to go in and add shifts, make adjustments through those shifts. There's simple drag and drops in there. There's There's simple copy and paste features that are out there so that they can build that schedule. There are also other features that the employee can utilize from their side to help their supervisor build their schedule. Things like allowing your supervisor, your manager, know when you're available. Maybe I'm a new employee, and when I was hired, I instructed them, hey, I can never work on Monday, Wednesday, or Saturday because I'm a student and I also have another part-time job. So these days I just cannot work. You hired me, so I'm agreeing that, or you're agreeing that you're good with those days. Now that information is translated directly over to the actual schedule, and it prevents somebody from accidentally scheduling me when I'm at school. In addition, as the employee, I get constant notification as to what is going on within my schedule. You go in and make a change to my shift, I'm going to be notified instantly as to what that change is, either through a text or an email message that happens. Oh, by the way, managers also can receive communication through email or text. Maybe I'm an employee and I was supposed to be to work at 9 a.m. and it's now 9:15 and I haven't clocked in yet. Well, if that company or my company is utilizing scheduling, my supervisor would receive a text or an email letting them know that I still haven't punched in and that he may need to find somebody else to fill my position for the day. Okay, at least he can start to check. Okay, so enough about the product. That was kind of a high level overview about all the features that our product handles in there. A couple of other things I want you to know about SwipeClock is that we actually distribute, as I mentioned earlier, all of our services through channel partners. And in doing so, we take great pride in all of the resources that we provide out there to our reselling partners. That's starting with an actual channel development team and a channel development manager assigned to each and every partner. Their entire job is to help you become as successful as you can utilizing the SwipeClock products, growing your revenue, and making sure that you're providing areas of retention for your clients to stay with you. That all includes personalized sales training for your entire sales team, specific product training because everyone should be involved in sales, discovery and demonstration to your actual clients, and account management and goal setting. The pictures that you see are our account managers that we have here, the channel development team. In addition to that, we have what seems to me like almost endless amounts of online resources for you. We have a whole website that is just for our channel partners so that they can access all of the tools they need to be successful out there. That might be something like a complete description of all of the products specifically on this website for you guys to turn to anytime you actually need further information. Or maybe it's actually going out there and finding correct tools that you need within that product. So we have many different types of tools that you can install on your websites or you can just access and use. We have a tool that's called a walkthrough, where it's basically allowing you to kind of quickly show your clients a high-level demonstration of the product with actually out diving into a full demo. You kind of have the ability to click through all of these different tools in here. Maybe it's a revenue calculator so that you can calculate how much you're going to earn during the time frame. Or again, all of the marketing collateral that you can possibly want and need out there. We brand it specifically for you. If you want that, you have access to come in and choose all of the different bits of collateral based on what you're trying to achieve with your clients or the products that they're actually needing out there. A full knowledge base that is available for you guys and your clients, right? So if you have one of your clients that has a question on anything dealing with SwipeClock, they can actually search the knowledge base as well, but you also have access to that. And then finally, as I mentioned, access to having us do demos for you. We love helping our partners actually do discovery and demo process, helping them actually win clients by showing those prospective clients the system and how it actually solves their problems. We just have a couple of rules that we ask you follow in that, mainly that you submit a request through our professional services portal and that you give us a 72-hour notice before that demo date is actually due. These are just some of the resources we provide to our client. What I would actually ask of you guys is that if anything I said here today sparked an interest, please reach out. We would love to actually just show you how the SwipeClock system works, how the new integration with the HR module can provide immense opportunity for you guys. Miley Brown here, shown on the screen, she is our business development manager and new partner recruiter. This is her contact information. I will share all of this contact information with everybody afterwards. Please feel free to reach out and call Miley directly, connect with Miley directly. We are happy to show you how SwipeClock works. With that being said, I want to again thank everyone for their time. Again, thank AccountantsWorld for their time. And I believe we have some time left for questions. I'm happy to answer anything that I can.
Thank you, Chris. That was an excellent presentation. This is Roger. There were a few questions that came up while you were making your presentation. So I don't know if, can you see them? I can probably point them out to you. One question was, does SwipeClock is there a SwipeClock fee additional to the full platform fee that they're already paying? So this would be a user that's probably using your SwipeClock product already, and they're concerned about the HR. So is there another platform fee for the HR program?
So there's not another platform fee. If you're already a SwipeClock user, the services that you end up choosing, so remember I named all 4 of the products, there is a higher fee than if you're just using timekeeping today, right? So we resell it to you at a specific price for timekeeping. Well, if you're going to add the HR module to that, there is a higher fee than you're used to today. And if you are a current SwipeClock provider and interested in what that is, please reach out to your channel development manager. They're happy to go through all of those fees with you and explain how it actually works.
Next question was, is the employee going to use a different application to perform the tasks along with each phase of the process?
No, it is one application that they will be utilizing. Great question. Thank you for asking that. So the screen that I showed you, that was the employee dashboard. That is a similar screen for the administrator. That the administrator use. It's if you are a manager administrator, you will have different permissions that you utilize within the system, but based on those permissions, that is the portal that you will be accessing the features directly through.
Next question, and this is an incredible opportunity. Question was, hi, what information would you need to create documentation for Puerto Rico? Also in Puerto Rico, the top HR services, which actually is ADP, they're the big dog in Puerto Rico. How can I compete with them and offer these services with competitive pricing?
Great question. And I'm going to kind of take a cop-out answer here with that. My first response is, please reach out to Miley. Have her show you exactly how we can provide the solutions there. We actually do have other partners that are in the Puerto Rico area as well. In competing directly against ADP, well, again, that is why we have teamed up with AccountantsWorld and Payroll Relief to provide you guys this integrated product so that you can compete. Because the features that I showed you today is exactly what ADP is going out there and selling. They are no longer selling a paycheck to compete in payroll. They're out there and they're selling onboarding, they're selling applicant tracking and HR documentation within their system.
Great. The next question was, and this came up, Chris, when you were talking about the various methods of getting employee time tracking information into the system. Question was, how do you mitigate or eliminate employees who do not clock in?
So within our system, lots of companies have a mixture of both employees that are hourly and must track their time, and employees that are salary and do not track their time. By the way, hopefully everybody here is already aware of the new overtime regulations that are going into place, which could change some of those salaried employees, but that's a different topic. Within our system, you get to choose who has time clock available to them and who does not. Just because I'm a salaried employee does not mean I don't need to go in and request time off, have that posted on a calendar. I may even need to view my schedule, thinking of a situation where I just helped out medical offices where the doctors actually travel between several different medical offices, and they needed to be scheduled so they knew where they were going on any particular day.
Okay. Next question was, can the mobile app be branded for either the accounting firm or the payroll provider or the end client, which he means the employer?
So the mobile app cannot be branded in that the mobile app is going to come up and have either you as the reselling partner or your client's information on there. However, the employee portal itself can be branded if you're utilizing the full Workforce Hub platform. And it can be branded both for you as the partner, so that when your client goes to log in, it looks like they're logging into one of your portals, and then the inside guts of that is branded towards that specific client, where they can have their logo and their color scheme in the branding.
Yeah, because the employee is working for the employer, right? So it should have the employer's info when they log in, right?
Correct.
Right. Okay, another question that came up is, will the SwipeClock provide a your BOSS BOSS system like service in providing support to our clients, or will we as payroll services or service providers need to fully service the HR side of the application and system?
Great question out there. So first, let me explain what this question means when they're talking about BOSS. So when you call Miley and you start to ask her about becoming a reselling partner of SwipeClock, you have two options. You have the option to become a traditional partner, where we provide wholesale pricing, but you take on becoming first line of support. You also then do the implementations for your clients of the actual product. And because you're doing that first line of support and doing the implementations, we provide a wholesale pricing on that. That's called our traditional program. We teach you how to do everything in there. That's Miley's job, but you then handle those aspects. We also have another program that is called BOSS. It stands for Back Office Sales and Support. And that is where you become a reselling partner, but SwipeClock takes on the responsibility of selling to your clients and answering all of their support questions directly to your clients. Because we're taking on that added responsibility and workload, we charge a higher price, more of a retail price for our products out there. Now, finally, to answer that question, yes, we will take on those responsibilities of handling that for your BOSS clients. However, there is a couple of things that you need to understand when you're in there handling HR functionality. Then there is a piece of the system that must be associated directly with you. And so we have to work directly with you to begin with to get that up and rolling for you. But when your clients have questions on how certain things work from the HR standpoint within the actual product, we'll be able to handle that support side for you.
Okay. There were several questions that touched on the same concept, and that was basically touching on the circling around the pricing of the product, but they probably should speak to Miley about that, right?
Yep, that's exactly correct, because Miley's going to help you guys assess which model is going to be best for you. She has a series of conversations that she likes to have to help you assess. You then make the choice as to what you think is best, and part of that conversation is the difference in price between them.
Okay. Tyler brought up an interesting question. You know, we're looking for when we're going to roll this out. I'm pretty sure we're ready on our end with the API. Time date, I think, was by the end of December. Is that right, Chris?
That's still my
To roll this
understanding
out?
as well. End of December, possibly the 1st of January is what I have heard the expected dates are between our two teams.
Okay. Can you purchase the HR alone, or do you have to purchase SwipeClock as well?
So you're not purchasing the HR, you're becoming and you're not purchasing SwipeClock, you're becoming a reseller. And in becoming a reseller, it lets you actually resell all of our products to your prospective clients out there. If you're only looking to use the HR module, that's all you have to provide out there to them. If you want all of them, you can go with the Workforce Hub route. Maybe you only need advanced scheduling. By all means, that's all you have to put into place for them. Again, these are questions that Miley will go through and address with you when you give her a call.
Another question that came up is, so when a new employee is added into the HR system, is it automatically uploaded to Payroll Relief and with no additional steps required? I imagine the accountant would have to push, or the payroll provider push a button to have that data exported into Payroll Relief. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that is correct, and it's pretty much what triggers that is that button that I showed on the screen where it said complete and add to payroll. That's pretty much what triggers that data then being pushed over into AccountantsWorld.
Okay. Someone wanted to know, does labor distribution include job costing in the HR application?
So if we're talking about true job costing, then, and my definition based off of the years I've had in the industry, it does not, right? Labor distribution is allocating where that labor is spent. So this employee worked this many hours on this particular job. Now we can create, and we have what we called filtered prompts. So if I am an employee and I work in department A, and then department A has 5 different jobs that they work on, then I, as that employee, am able to choose which job I am working on during this time period. And from that standpoint, the answer is yes. I can tell you where the dollars, where the hours are being allocated for that job. And so to shortly answer that question, it kind of depends on what you're talking about job costing.
Okay. Yeah, like in Payroll Relief, for example, we can allocate hours to particular jobs after a payroll is typically run, and then you can generate that and get that into an Excel, just so you know.
Yeah, and so we could start that with the time side, allocating those hours per that job so that it flows over into payroll, and then they can take that from there and do what their job costing need is.
So that would go right through the API, right? So that would be great, because that's less data entry, and because that can be tedious if you have to do a lot of job costing entries to allocate hours.
Yep. That's
be awesome.
The whole reason. Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
Will the new hub system include a benefit enrollment system?
Great question. Currently does not include benefit enrollment. It includes benefit tracking. However, our 2020 roadmap, that is one of the major discussions that we are currently having as a feature that we want to add is that exact feature. We're looking at both that and actual templated performance reviews that you can have directly in there.
Someone wanted to know if we could, or if they could disable the mobile a mobile app use.
Oh,
yes.
So yes, when you are setting up an employee, to utilize mobile app, first of all, you set that up per employee, and that is available only by those that have had it configured for them. So as the administrator, as the manager, as the reselling partner, you will all have complete control over who has that access.
And then it says, you mentioned custom employer documents and policies. Are there draft documents available for us to customize per client?
No, we do not provide the draft documents out there. However, one of the things that I did not show you is some other third-party providers that we have in our marketplace, and some of them can provide those documents to you, or you can create those documents for your actual clients and charge them for creating those documents. We don't get involved in creating the actual document. We provide the means to have that document placed directly in here. So if you already have a policies and procedures manual, you can simply add that directly into the system.
Okay. Are we still okay on time, Chris? There's just a couple more questions, or?
I mean, yeah, we're at 12:47 my time right now,
Yeah.
so I know we're a little bit over, but I'm fine
Yeah.
as long as you guys are fine.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. If you're a traditional partner and run into a question you can't answer, is there someone available to provide support for the partner?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So that is one thing that your channel development manager helps you with. That's what the knowledge base is there. And then we have a full ticketing system if it's a technical question.
Okay. Will the SwipeClock ESS portal replace the existing Payroll Relief employee portal? No. Not necessarily, doesn't have to, right?
Right, no, doesn't have to.
And last one, what is the benefit tracking versus benefit enrollment?
So right now, benefit tracking is where, let's say it's benefit time, and you have all of your employees through the portal choose what actual benefits they're selecting for the upcoming year. So you're able to make this report and have all this information on what they're choosing to enroll for, but the actual enrollment forms are not directly within the system. You can actually save them afterwards in the system. Like if you pull them from your insurance provider directly, you can save those in the system, but they're not in the system so that the employee fills them out directly within the system, and then that electronically goes over to the insurance carrier.
Okay. Let me just squeeze one more in here. Will a SwipeClock portal provide access to pay stubs and W-2s created by Payroll Relief? Because they go right now, they currently go into the employee portal that we have.
Yes.
It will. Okay.
Yes.
I think that should do it. There were
awesome,
great
guys.
questions. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. If you have further questions, we're here to help. Please don't hesitate to call us.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to hop in. Yeah, I'm just going to hop in and say thank you very much to you, Chris, and thank you very much to Roger for moderating the discussion and questions here. It seems like a great integration, and you know, I think AccountantsWorld is going to be better for it, and so will SwipeClock. So thank you so much, gentlemen. Folks, if you have any more questions or comments, feel free to reach out to the AccountantsWorld team. We thank you very, very much for joining us today, and we hope that you will take part in this new exciting phase with Payroll Relief. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
So much.
Bye-bye.